My village people, I am finally leaving the village for una oh.
Everybody in Amoku village believed that Precious things were always hidden, and that was exactly why Precious, the girl with the brightest smile in the whole community, felt like she didn't belong where she was born. At only 22, Precious was a beautiful brown-skinned girl with almond-shaped eyes, tall legs, soft calves, and a smile that could calm quarrels. She was the type of girl elders whispered about, saying, "This one will not end in the village. Her star today shine." Precious grew up with big dreams, bigger than the mango trees behind her father's compound. While other girls in the village talked about early marriage or selling in the local market, Precious wanted something different. She wanted a job in the city, an office job, something clean, something steady, something that would make her mother proud and give her younger siblings a better life. So one morning, she packed her small Gonna-Must-Go bag and said goodbye to the village, her heart full of hope and her pockets almost empty. When Precious arrived in the city of Enugu Port, the air felt different, busy, fast, loud, like the world wanted to swallow her and lift her at the same time. She stayed with her aunt, who didn't exactly like visitors, but she allowed Precious because she believed in her determination. Every morning Precious would wake up before sunrise, dress neatly, powder her glowing brown face, pack her kinky hair into a big fluffy bun, and walk from office to office dropping her CV. And every day, the answer was the same: "We are not hiring," or "We will get back to you." But they never did. There was one particular office Precious desperately wanted to work in: Crystal Gate Consult, a beautiful company with glass doors and important-looking workers in suits. Every time she passed the building, she felt something pulling her, like destiny was calling her name. But each time she submitted her CV at the reception, the woman at the front desk would look at her from head to toe with irritation and say, "Madam, we don't have space. Try somewhere else." Not knowing that the woman didn't even submit her application anywhere, she just didn't like how pretty and confident Precious looked. After another rejection, Precious sat outside Crystal Gate's gate and whispered, "God, when will I catch my break?" Her feet were dusty, her eyes tired, but her smile never left. That was one thing about her: no matter how hard life slapped her left and right, she always found a reason to smile. On her way back home that day, something unexpected happened. She saw an elderly man struggling to carry 2 bags of groceries across a busy road. Cars were honking, drivers were shouting, but nobody stopped to help. Without thinking, Precious ran toward him. "Sir, let me help you," she said, holding his arm gently. The old man looked up, surprised. "My daughter, thank you. People just they look me like film." Precious smiled. "No wala, sir." She held the bags, supported him across the road, and even escorted him all the way to his compound. The man's house was big, quiet, and neat, nothing like the noisy streets. She didn't know who he was, but she didn't care. "My daughter," he said when they reached his gate, "people like you are rare. May good things find you the way you found me today." "Amen, sir," Precious replied with her usual warm smile before leaving. She didn't know that the old man she had just helped was Chief Nosu, the founder and owner of Crystal Gate Consults, the very office where they kept rejecting her. She didn't know that her kindness that afternoon had just opened the door she'd been knocking on for months. That same evening, as Precious walked home humming softly, a sleek car stopped beside her. A young man stepped out, tall, handsome, well-dressed, with the same facial features as the old man she helped earlier. "Excuse me," he called out, walking towards her. "Are you the girl who helped my father today?" Precious blinked, confused. "Your father?" "Yes," he said, smiling. "He told me everything. He said you saved him from being knocked down." "My name is Frank Nosu." Frank's smile was warm, the kind that made Precious instinctively adjust her dress and tuck a stray curl behind her ear. He looked like someone who belonged in the city, clean, confident, with a voice that carried calm authority. Precious didn't know whether to be scared, shy, or excited, so she simply stood still like a student waiting for instructions. "My father couldn't stop talking about you," Frank continued. "He said a young lady with a bright smile saved him today. He said you have the kind of heart money can't buy." Precious felt her cheeks heat up. "Sir, I didn't do anything special. I just helped an elder." Frank laughed softly. "That's what makes it special. Most people walked past him." For a few seconds, the wind blew gently, lifting Precious's big fluffy hair like a soft cloud. Frank stared at her as if trying to understand how someone so simple could shine so effortlessly. "Where are you coming from?" he asked. "Crystal Gate," she said quietly, her voice betraying the disappointment she carried. "Oh, you had an appointment there." She shook her head. "I've been applying for a receptionist or assistant position for months, but they keep telling me there is no space." Frank's face changed. A small frown appeared. "No space?" "Yes." He chuckled, this time not out of amusement but disbelief. "Interesting. Very interesting." Precious didn't understand what he meant, so she simply nodded politely. "Let me drop you off," he said suddenly. "It's not safe for you to walk alone." Precious quickly waved her hands. "No, sir, I don't want to trouble you." "It's not trouble," he insisted. "You helped my father. Let me help you too." Reluctantly, Precious entered the car, sitting very gently like someone who didn't want to stain anything. Frank noticed her careful movements and smiled. The drive was short but filled with a soft, comfortable silence. At her aunt's gate, Frank parked and turned to her. "Precious, tomorrow morning, go back to Crystal Gate. I want you to take this." He handed her a small card, simple but elegant, with his full name embossed in gold. ENGR. Frank Nwosu, Managing Director, Crystal Gate Consult. Precious froze. Her heart jumped. Her mouth opened but no words came out. "Just show this at the gate," he said calmly. "They'll let you in." Her hand trembled as she collected it. "Sir, I don't know how to thank you." "You already thanked me when you helped my father," he replied softly. "Just be yourself tomorrow." He drove off, leaving Precious standing under the dim streetlight, staring at the card like she was holding the key to heaven's gate. That night, Precious didn't sleep. She kept rehearsing greetings, practicing how to sit, how to smile, how to talk during interviews. Her heart fluttered with excitement and fear. "God, I beg," she whispered, "let tomorrow favor me." The next morning, she woke early, ironed her best dress, simple but neat, styled her big kinky hair, applied a little powder, and left the house with shaking hands. When she arrived at Crystal Gate's gate, the same security man who always waved her away looked at her with irritation. "You again." "Madam, we know." Precious silently handed him Frank's card. The man stopped mid-sentence, blinked twice, then said sharply, "Madam, enter." "Enter." "Sorry, ma." Inside the building, the receptionist, the same woman who always gave her attitude, nearly choked when she saw the card. "Ma, you're here for an appointment," Precious replied gracefully, remembering Chike's instruction to be herself. Minutes later, she was escorted into a private office, beautifully arranged with glass walls and city views. She sat nervously, her fingers tapping softly on her knee. Suddenly, the door opened. And there he was, Frank, clean, tall, smiling. "Good morning, Precious," he said. "Welcome to Crystal Gate." But before Precious could relax, the real storm began brewing outside, because 3 female staff members had seen her walk in, and the jealousy in their eyes was darker than anything Precious had ever faced. They whispered, they murmured, they plotted. And before long, they started planning exactly how they would make sure this village girl never survived long enough to enjoy the opportunity coming her way. Precious's first week at Crystal Gate Consult was nothing like she had imagined. On one side, she had Frank silently watching over her, guiding her when she stumbled, offering encouragement when the work became overwhelming. On the other side, she had the girls from the office, sharp-tongued, polished, city-bred women who saw her as nothing more than a threat. They whispered behind her back, sabotaged her files, and even went so far as to plant mistakes in her work, hoping the boss would blame her. But Precious was not the type to crumble. She remembered her village, the dusty roads she had walked, the hard work of her parents, and the pride in her people's eyes. She stood tall, curvy, and glowing, almond-shaped eyes alert, lips carved into that same radiant smile that had disarmed the old man on the street. Every morning, she came in early, left late, and worked with diligence that even the most skeptical staff could not ignore. One fateful afternoon, a big client meeting almost went wrong. The girls had purposely misplaced important documents to frame Precious. When the client called for the files, Precious calmly stepped in, reorganized everything, and delivered the presentation flawlessly. The room erupted in applause. Even the girls who tried to set her up could not hide their astonishment. Frank, who had been observing quietly, leaned back in his chair, a proud smile on his face. "You see, Precious," he said later, goodness and hard work always shine. Never let anyone make you doubt yourself. As days turned into weeks, the office began to recognize her value. The same people who tried to push her out started looking for ways to learn from her. And in that chaos, something beautiful was happening. Frank found himself drawn to her laughter, her kindness, and the resilience that radiated from every gesture. They spent late evenings discussing projects, goals, and dreams. Sometimes, he would catch her humming softly as she organized files, and his heart would skip a beat. One evening, as the city lights twinkled outside the glass walls, Frank finally spoke. Precious, do you know why my father spoke so highly of you? Precious shook her head, heart pounding. He said you have a rare spirit. The kind of spirit that changes lives, even without knowing it. I believe in you too. Tears filled Precious's eyes, not of sadness, but of relief. After all the struggles, the rejections, the lies, she had finally found recognition, respect, and love. Months passed. Precious not only rose in the company but also became the heart of the office, admired and respected. Her kindness and brilliance had won over everyone, including the girls who had plotted against her. And as for Frank, he never let her go. Their partnership, first professional, soon blossomed into something deeper. Love grew quietly but powerfully, rooted in respect and shared dreams. In a ceremony that combined village traditions and city elegance, Precious married Frank, the very son of the man she had helped that fateful day. The same smile that had carried her through every trial now shone brighter than ever, a symbol of perseverance, destiny, and divine favor. Even after the betrayals, the receptionist rejections, the jealous plots, and the obstacles life threw at her, Precious proved one truth: when you lead with kindness, stay true to yourself, and keep working hard, life always has a way of rewarding you, sometimes in ways more beautiful than you could ever imagine.